What are we doing? Well, first of all, happy Easter. He is risen. Apparently, so is my blood pressure from rushing around trying to get things ready to go this evening. We are going to be making three cocktails this evening. You don't know who I am, or maybe you do because you're usually tuning in. I'm Pooch Pacucci. My lovely wife Star is back over there. Together, we're Lovecraft Cocktails. And we do this weird broadcast every week where we talk about some tiki cocktails, talk about what's happening in our lives, talk about new tiki merch. Sometimes we talk about Lovecraftian things because the whole Lovecraft Cocktails is a play off of H.P. Lovecraft's name and the fact that, well, we both love craft cocktails and not just tiki cocktails. So,
Sarah and then Amanda.
yay, Sarah, yay, Amanda. People found us, yay. One of the drinks we're going to be doing this evening has a rum-ish liquor in it, a rum-ish spirit. It is a cane spirit. It is not, I guess, it is technically rum by U.S. standards, but Mexico considers it something else. Mexico considers it by their own name, which is Charanda.
Charanda.
So this is, what is this? So this is a single blended rum. What the heck is a single blended rum? I don't know. It's coming from pot stills, modified with pot still. Sorry, let me get this straight. Pot still, cane juice fermented pot still, molasses fermented column still mixed together in this bottle. And it's really yummy stuff. We're going to use it in a cocktail this evening. And so I thought we might as well taste it straight up because we haven't done that in a while. Comes in at 46%, so it's a little warm, but not too bad. I mean, it's certainly nowhere near overproof standards. But usually the rums that most people think about in the supermarket, or the standard rums you're used to drinking. My game is really off this evening. Are usually in the 40 to 43%. So this is 46. It's a little higher, not much. It is quite tasty. It is very definitely, for being a blend of column and pot still and being a blend of cane juice and molasses, it really is just sort of its own thing. You can't compare it to, say, our Barbados rum, because Barbados rums, while column and pot still combined, all use molasses as their base. They don't use cane juice as their base. So very different. I think they actually use some level of natural native yeast.
No?
I think so. I think it's an open fermentation, at least for the cane juice. I'm not sure. I'd have to check on that, but that would be another marked difference. Mm-hmm. So here is a little charanda for you to taste. Cheers, all.
Cheers.
Happy Easter. That smells so good. It has a little bit of that banana peel-ish smell to it that usually associate with like Dunder Pits and Jamaican.
So it's warm, it's not hot. I mean, it's very warming.
Yes.
In the palate.
Yes. But it is just that edge of
yeah.
Oh, hot, 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 hot.
Yeah.
You can taste this on first sip. You don't have to like acclimatize your tongue to it. Which, I love OFTD, but for the first sip of the OFTD, you're kind of acclimatizing your palate to the fact that it's as hot as it is.
We have our semi-matching shirts.
That's why I wore this one.
Yeah. So I had this one for a while.
Collar.
Oh, I have a collar issue.
Yeah.
And then his mom got him that one, and I saw it, and I went, I didn't know I'd packed that shirt. And so.
You didn't.
Right.
It's mine.
Right. Yeah. My joke for Easter, which I've been sort of making since Christmas, is he has not risen.
He's not risen.
He is not risen because the creche is still up. And
I meant to take down the creche. Yesterday, it was my task to take down the creche.
Yeah, because I said, tomorrow is Easter. He is risen, and he should rise to the attic.
All things are possible. He can both be born and dead and risen again all the same day.
Right. So I had to give him a hard time about that. So, I love you anyway.
I love you too. In my defense, there really is no defense. The creche is on a landing between two floors, and I only notice it when I go between those two floors. I'm like, oh, I should do something about that someday, and then don't.
And we have a episode update correction.
Yeah, you may have noticed that tonight's episode is episode 155, whereas last week's was 153.
53. I did go through them all and go, nope, actually 154, and things like that. So we had there was an oops.
There was an oops early on.
Episodes ago. Yeah.
Oh, was
it was only like 4 episodes.
Oh, I thought it was like further back.
No.
Oh.
It was when John Schott was here. We did the number.
Oh,
so
all right.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, and I caught it, and
it has now been caught.
We has now been caught.
We has now been caught.
We has now been caught. We are properly numbered.
Yeah, it's only 46%, but we has now been caught. Excellent. Okay, 3 drinks this evening. The first of which is a radical departure from what we normally do. This drink involves only 3 ingredients, and in proportions that I would never have tried.
We also have an Elizabeth and a Don Kip.
Woohoo! More people that found us at our late start date. Excellent. We love you guys. Thank you very much. Okay, what do we have here? We have a 3-ingredient cocktail that is dedicated, I believe, to the boat.
No, to the person.
To the person. So you may remember that we had a friend of ours, Christine, pass away. The name of their boat was the Mollie, and one of her favorite scotches on the planet was Quarantiki, and so we have a bottle of Quarantiki here, and this is going to be one of the spirits in the cocktail. The second spirit and the base spirit for this cocktail. Don't believe it. I did not create this cocktail. I am told it is fantastic. We're going to do it. The base is going to be Liquor 43. Liquor 43 comes in at 31% alcohol by volume. It is a sweet liqueur from Spain. And the third ingredient is heavy cream. Yep, that's it. I don't know. I don't. Could be. So we also, this is a return to the...
This drink is by Danielle Dad's Hubble Olse, who is a friend of Cam and David and Chris's.
Great.
And it is, Chris was a creative spirit, and she lit up when she talked about being on Mollie and what that sense of freedom meant to her. So I sit here tonight, this is Danielle's post. So I sit here tonight with Cam and my 4-legged Mollie, and we created a new drink in honor of Chris's adventurous spirit. Introducing the Mollie, a smooth yet unexpected combination of sweet and smoky, with a lasting finish, an unusual combination that somehow works beautifully.
So, when I said that this is a throwback in terms of measurements and proportions to a long, long time ago when things were measured in glasses, wine glasses, as opposed to ounces and milliliters. So our measurements here are all based upon a certain amount within a tasting glass. First of all, I'm not entirely sure what the volumetric measure of a tasting glass is. So I'm guessing, or I was told, sorry, not guessing, I was told that they used Norland Scotch tasting glasses, which I don't actually have a Norland Scotch tasting glass. What I do have is my cotton.
It's upstairs.
I do. It's upstairs. I don't have them here. So we have the Cotton and Reed tasting glass, but this is really weird to be working with because of its bell shape. The Norland has a little bit more of a straight up and down vertical. Volumetrically, it's probably about the same as a single rocks glass. But that seems, I don't know, it seems like a lot. Trying to think what else I have here in tasting glasses. What about this? Could we use this? Is that too small?
That's too small.
That's too small. Okay, fine. I guess we're going to go with the rocks glass.
Yeah, I think the rocks glass.
The other thing that I have here is like the really small martini glasses, but that's going to just throw the wacky measurements off. So the first measurement is the Quarantiki, and this is going straight in the glass and not mixed. So the first measurement I have is for a little more than a dash of the Korryvakin. Okay, feels like I need to do some measurement here so that if this doesn't turn out, I can play around with it. No, no, not a half ounce. No. I'm going to go with a quarter ounce, which I think is significantly more than a dash, but I don't know how they're using the term dash. So we're going to go with a quarter ounce of the Korryvakin. Right? So that just looks kind of like that. So you can tell there's like a quarter inch, maybe slightly less in the bottom of this particular glass. So we'll see how this goes. Next up, the instructions say to bring this about to halfway to the top with liquor 43. Okay. So we're just going to free pour this.
Norland.
Norlands? Norland. Norlan, I believe. Norland. So we're going to go about halfway up. So I'm going to just stick a thumb here. We're going to go halfway up. Yes, this is going to be a strong drink. It's a lot of liquor. Okay. And then we want to fill this all the way up to, what did they say? They said within a third of an inch to a half an inch of the top with heavy cream poured over the back of a spoon. Okay. We're not all using heavy cream, we're using whipping cream, which is why I'm going to be very ginger about shaking this up. There's very little effort here, and we could be dealing with whipping cream, which I don't think is what they intended. But we'll find out. We'll see how this goes. That's a wee itty bitty spoon. Let's do this kind of spoon. All right. We're just going to set this down, right, touching the liquid, and pour the heavy cream over. All right. Well, that doesn't look half bad at all. But of course, you know me, I can't. What I really want to do is just shave a little bit of nutmeg and cinnamon over the top of this. But I should taste it first, right?
Yep.
That's what should taste it first. And the idea here is this should not be stirred and mixed in. You should just take long, deep sips of this and see how it is. That's a glass of liquor 43 and cream. That's a very strange drink.
Oh wow. The Corey and the Liquor 43 are just having like a dance.
And it's like, oh, the sweetness of the liquor 43 and the orange flavor of the liquor 43 and there's a burn right back here. Somebody lit a tire on fire in the back of my throat, and that's the Korryvakin coming through.
That's a really interesting combination.
It is.
He's going to put nutmeg on it. Oh, cinnamon. Probably and nutmeg.
Yeah, because they're right here.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. That needed just that little hint of aromatic component to it.
Yum.
That works. Nicely done. So would not have suspected, but wow, I should have measured the liquor 43 I put in there. The only measure I know is a quarter ounce of the Korryvakin.
Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
You need to do it again and measure.
I probably do. Should we do it again?
Yeah.
What do you think? Do it again so you all know, because nobody else has these glasses, right? So nobody else can do it to those proportions. So we're gonna do this again. The one measure we absolutely know is a quarter ounce of Corryvreckan. Could you use a different scotch? Absolutely. Use a different Isla scotch. You want that smoky, briny character. So you want an Ardbeg. Ardbeg. You want a Lafroig. You want Lagavulin. Lagavulin? Bowmore. Something along those lines.
Corey Beckham was her favorite, so it should be Corey Beckham.
Okay. There's that. Now then, let's see if we can get a measure for our liquor 43. I'm going to go start with 2 ounces.
Yeah.
It's a little under 2 ounces, so a skinny 2 ounces. It feels a little short to me.
Okay. So 2.5.
Let's see what 2.5 does. That looks better.
Okay.
Call it 2.5.
2.5. And an ounce of heavy cream. Ounce and a half.
Remember, the glass flares out a little bit. So it may take more to get there. So that's 2 ounces. Well, this would be nice if it just works out to be 2.5 and 2.5. Let's call that 2.5 cream, 2.5 of the liquor 43.
Okay. Layer do not hit.
I mean, we can go ahead and mix one at one point and see what it's like, because, yeah, we have them. All right, we need the nutmeg and the cinnamon. So cinnamon, nutmeg.
Hey, Cam, we are making the Mollie. We have proportions for you.
We do.
It's a quarter ounce Corey Beckham, 2.5 liquor 43, and 2.5 heavy cream. Boots has added grating cinnamon and nutmeg on it.
What do we do? You got to take a deeper sip to get past the cream on the first one. Otherwise, you just get cream, which is a difficulty. But a smaller glass would this would be fine, I think. Yep. I also so I added the nutmeg and the cinnamon, but then I just put a couple of drops of Angostura at the top.
Okay.
I mean, it tastes very much like tamale.
The Angostura, of course, changes the scent.
Yep. So it's not quite as orange on the scent.
Yeah, I don't care for the Angostura on it.
Okay. Apparently, it's not that big a problem.
No, but I would leave the Angostura off.
Oh, and then there's the what do we do? What happens? This gets
When you
mixed.
mix it,
That's quite tasty.
Yay.
Flavors
Look,
flavors blend a little um, when you do that, when you mix it. I have a feeling the proportions are still slightly off because the cream is pretty heavy there.
so maybe 2 ounces of cream.
2 ounces of cream in a slightly smaller glass to make it a little easier to get all the flavors at the same time. The Liquor 43 and the Corey are mixing just fine.
Yeah.
All right, so that's drink one, the Mollie. So then we were cruising around today looking for inspiration for cocktails. And, as you do, you sometimes run across new people on YouTube or TikTok or whatever you happen to be cruising around. In this case, it was YouTube. And I did just a search for Easter cocktails and hacked around a little bit. And it turns out that there's this guy, Andy, whose handle is Easy Tiki. I think it's Easy Tiki. And he has uh,
We have
a, a unique creation of his own called the Easter Island Swizzle. And that's going to be the next cocktail we're doing after I answer this question.
we have 2 questions.
Two.
Elizabeth asks, what is the alcohol content of which you have to worry about the cream curdling?
It's not so much the alcohol content, it's the acid that you would have to worry about. And there's not enough acid well, there's no acid in this, so you don't have to worry about it curdling. Yeah, I mean, I mixed this together and not a problem. Yep.
Okay. And then we have do you have a remedy for hiccups from Miss Brooke?
Um, Thyme. Thyme is a really good remedy for hiccups. I don't find that the traditional scaring someone works. Not only does it not work for the person that has hiccups, because it usually engenders one great big hiccup from them, which can be embarrassing for all, but then usually you get smacked for trying to scare them. So I don't recommend that. One thing you can try is pinching your nose and taking several sips of water. I understand that works particularly well. The caveat here is if while you are drinking the water you have to have a hiccup, you could spray water everywhere. So, buyer beware on that.
Elizabeth suggests plug your ears and your nose and drink a full cup of water top to bottom, or until you feel like you're out of breath and going to die. It will reset the diaphragm.
Okay, Elizabeth, that sounds interesting, but I'm a little curious as to how you plug your ears and your nose at the same time and then drink a glass of water. So I'm thinking, what do we got? We got the glass of water here. You're gonna pinch it out and go like this, and then we're gonna reach down.
And bite the glass.
No, that's not working. Nope. Maybe if it's a small glass and you just do a shot glass. So, yeah. So here, Brooke, try this. Try this, Brooke.
Use a Surfside sip straw
To do what?
to drink the water.
Oh, you could do that. Yeah, yeah.
So you do that?
I like my solution better. So my solution would be to plug your ears and pinch your nose shut and do a blowjob. No, really, it's a shot that you're supposed to like mouth the whole thing and knock it back. Yeah, so that would be what it would be like. Here, you make the shot like that, and then your mouth goes over the shot glass. Mhm. See, that's how that would work, and then the hiccups would be gone, and you would be well on your way to being intoxicated.
Yeah.
Ta-da! All works, right? Okay, that's going to need to be cleaned. That's going to need to be cleaned. The maids are coming tomorrow. All right, so next drink. Next drink comes to us from Andy from Easy Tiki. This is home creation on his part that he says was inspired by. Was it inspired by the trade winds? I think that was what he said. It also obviously has something in common with the Queen's Park Swizzle. What? Star's laughing, and I want to know. I want to know. And
Ears with your thumb, nose with your pointer, a small cup with your little finger.
clearly, someone has thought way too much about this.
And Bruce says, for those of you turning in late, Pooch has found a new way to shake a drink without hands.
No, no, without hands. Oh my God, that's put it between the butt cheeks and twerk a little. There you go. Yeah. Nope. Wow, we've like here's the rail, and we're just like maybe that rail was the third rail, and now we're just doomed. Doomed, I tell you. Great day to be doomed. It's Easter. Happy Easter again. Drinking some Charanda here. So how are we going to do this? We are going to do this like we would do any other swizzle. Start you with a zombie glass, tall Collins glass, something along those lines. Next up, a la Queen's Park Swizzle, you want to have some mint. And you're going to put the mint leaves in the bottom of this glass. And we want like 8 to 10 of these mint leaves. I'm just going to set this over here. Well, these are wee bitty mint leaves.
Yeah.
We're going to have more than 8 or 10 of these.
Yeah.
Stay, mint. Good mint. All right, so there's one. The top of this is 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6, 7, 8. I guess they're small. Go with a 9 and a 10 because we all like mint, right? There you go. All right. 3 drops of a 20% saline solution. So now I'm going to be very embarrassed here to say that A, I did not have any saline solution prepared. And B, as you all know, I was running around insane today trying to get us to be able to do this at 8 o'clock, not let alone 7:30. So I had to, rather than run back upstairs and try and create this solution, I eyeballed it with whatever salt I had on hand down here. So that's this bottle, this green bottle, and you're happy that it's a green bottle because the only salt I had down here is some margarita salt, which is artificially colored blue. So we're going to go 3 drops of roughly 20% saline solution, saline in water, except that this is blue. It's bright turquoise blue. Yeah, does not look like salt at all. Okay, just 1, 2, 3. And I'm really hoping that whatever dye they used for that salt does not color this whole drink blue, because that would just be bad. We do need 1 ounce of lime juice. So here's an ounce of lime juice. And if I remember correctly, he used 8 to 10 dashes of Angostura, but those were added at the end on the top of the cocktail, much like a Queen's Park Swizzle. So we're not going to add those 8 to 10 dashes of Angostura at the moment. We're going to set that bottle right here so you can watch while I forget to add it. We need a ½ ounce of pineapple syrup, and what we're using here is my pineapple oleosaccharum. So a ½ ounce of that. Find the ½ ounce. ½ an ounce. Right there. Ta-da. And then before we add the booze, we're going to lightly muddle these using one of these. Your little lele stick. Yeah, this is an actual stick from an actual tree in the Caribbean. They grow this way with the 5 points, and another set of sticks comes off the 5 points, which will then draw out, and then have another 5 points coming off the end of it. So these lele bushes are really great for making these kinds of cocktails. So we're just going to lightly muddle the mint in here. You don't want to mash up the mint, you just want to try and get some of the oils off of the mint leaves. So there we go. That should be much more aromatic than it was just a moment ago. So we're going to add some alcohol to this. But first up, we're going to add a ½ ounce of apricot liqueur, which I know I have because I pulled it out just before I started this thing. And I have no idea what I did with it. Corey, Liquor 43, Charanda, Episoa, nope, that's Valernum. Aha! And Gifford's apricot. And we're going to do a ½ ounce of this as well, right? Sorry, without my glasses, that board is just a little too far away. What I probably should do is set up a light so that it shines right on that board, because that would make it much easier to see. Okay, there's the apricot liqueur. Oh, it's so good. His comment was that for whatever reason, apricots and other stone fruits remind him of Easter, and so he just felt that this needed an apricot component to it. And he really likes the play of pineapple and apricot. And so while the swizzle is often made with like honey or something along those lines, he decided to pull that out and not use like honey or a simple syrup and instead go with the pineapple syrup to add just another fruity bit to this. And then 2 ounces of a lightly aged rum. So we've got all sorts of things to do here. Something with a little funk, a little blend to it. You can go with a straight El Dorado or something along those lines. I think I want to go with something that's got a little bit of the, I want to blend. I want to blend here for this. So what I'm thinking is if Star can fetch me either the Denizen or one of the McCoys would work. The Banks, not the white, but the next, sort of the next aged up.
The 7? There's the Denizen.
No, the Banks will work. The Banks will work. Let's use the Banks.
And did you use the pineapple?
Yeah, the pineapple syrup. Right here. Got it.
Got it. Okay.
Pineapple oleo.
I missed that.
So here is Banks. Banks this is a 7-year aged rum. It is a mix of rums from Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad, Guatemala, Panama, and Barbados. So you're getting a lot here. And the point about this is you could use something that was lightly aged from, say, Puerto Rico or Cuba or just Trinidad or something along those lines. But those rums tend to be in that Spanish column still style. They tend to be lacking just a little bit of character. And so doing something like this where you've got a blend of different rums in there, so you're not overpowering it with like, oh, here, let me just do a Jamaican. There's Jamaican elements in this. There's some Barbados elements. There's various other things in here. And you don't want to go climbing up the ladder to go something like an OFTD, because if you do that, then you're overwhelming this drink with the alcohol content of it. So we're going to go 2 ounces of our Banks 7-year. Could you have used any other blended rum? Sure. Or you could have just gone with like a Barbados, like the real McCoy or a Dourley's or something along those lines, which has got the blend of column and pot still rum in it. And those would have been fine as well. Oh, I think that's going to work very nicely. I forgot how much that really liked the Banks. And of course, my hand has a little bit of the apricot on it, so yeah, still good. Okay, what I'm going to do here is a little trick. We're going to take the lele stick and drop it down in there. That will A, hold the mint a little bit, and B, gives us a starting spot for our ice. There's the lele stick at the bottom, so you're not having to work the lele stick down. So we're going to go there. Do this right. There we go.
Did you get the lime?
Yeah, the lime's in there.
I'm sorry.
Right?
I guess
Hey.
I'm not paying attention.
Gosh, I hope I put the lime in there. Right now I'm like, oh, do we have the lime in there? And this is what you do when you're making a swizzle. And if the ice ever gets pretty light in there, you just go back and you add a little more ice. Like such. That'll bring some of the mint up, but not all of it. And now I'm going to actually taste test this because now I'm worried that I didn't add the mint. The mint, right? The lime. Tastes like there's lime in there. I think it would be way too sweet without it. Okay, next up. We still have not added. It's just a chunk of ice. We still have not added the Angostura. So we're going to mound this like such, take out the chunk, and then we do. There you go. There's a whole bunch of dashes of Angostura on the top of that. And then, this calls for a big sprig of mint dropped into it. Just for, oh man, what did they do here? Eek. So we're going to take a great big whacking hunk of mint like this. No, maybe a little less than that. Yeah, there we go. Big whacking hunk of mint, but not that big a hunk of mint. And then we're going to just put this in our hands. Smack that to break up some of the leaves, get some of those oils expressed. Stick that in there. We knew we wanted to watch this Easy Tiki guy because, well, his straws are all from Surfside Sips. So, well, hey, why not? That's going to be, we can do that.
14 dashes, but it can.
That was 14 dashes? Oh, well, my dasher is a little light, so there you go. All right, so there we have the Easter Island Swizzle. Now, you could add like a dehydrated pineapple wheel or something to this, just for a little extra oomph to it. But here we go. Give a sip of that. Now, as it was pointed out, with any of these swizzle kind of cocktails that have the Angostura, like the Queen's Park Swizzle, that have Angostura added to the top, generally it's a good idea to just let it seep down through the cocktail. You can always stir it and stir it in and just get that mix of flavors, but it's quite nice to actually let the Angostura just seep through the cocktail as you take sips of it, and as a consequence, the flavor profile of the cocktail will change over time. Not gonna lie, it's not ever gonna rise to one of my favorites, but there is some really nice flavors going on there.
And you did get the lime, I checked.
Okay, yay.
Oh, that's yummy.
See, we have different people like different things, right?
Yeah. I might clean up the ice.
Does this mean this is going away?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you want another sip, you better take it.
All right. I'll take another sip of this.
And we also use Surfside Sip.
And so can you. All you have to do is go to the Surfside Sips website and order whatever Surfside Sips straws you would like. If you'd like 20% off, you can actually use the promo code Lovecraft. Just type in LOVECRAFT, all caps. I don't think it actually matters whether it's all caps or not. And you will receive a discount on your order. And we will receive some minor portion of that, which we will promptly turn around and probably buy more straws with, because that's us and that's how it works around here. We have questions, either that or Stars being overly dramatic and doing the hello, squiggly.
Is there an actual measure for dash?
There is not.
Or do you just know by eyeball, that's light?
That's there is no actual.
This is a draw.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's something like 8 to 10 drops or a dash, but so here is a dasher top, which I'm trying to avoid getting Angostura all over my hands because I really don't need to be walking through the airport tomorrow with what looks like blood all over my hands. So this is a custom dasher top, and it is designed to deliver the same amount of liquid for each dash. But the amount of liquid that you get is going to depend on how much liquid is in the bottle and how much air, and the angle to which this bottle is generated at, to which it is delivering the Angostura. Also, this dasher top is not the same as other dasher tops. So you'll note that many of your bitters will come with what they call a dasher top, which looks like this, a little plastic top with a pinhole in it. This and that are not going to give you the same amount of dashes. So take it with a grain of salt when somebody says, oh, add a dash of this. It's like,
When you have it's called dash start.
Dash Dart. Yes, Dash Dart is the name of the toppers that I have. I like, so I know bars where when they say a dash, what they mean is one of the large Angostura bottles with a dash dart or some similar form of dasher on top of it. And that is a really heavy dash. The dash dart, it's really not a light dash in terms of the dart itself. I was dashing at a lighter angle as opposed to the bottle being like directly upside down. So you'll see, I'm gonna, I mean, you'll see a lot of bartenders when they're doing a dash, they're doing this. That's one, that's two, that's three, right? Those are deep dashes. That is all on the part of the bartender and the amount of whatever it is that they're dispensing, in this case Angostura, from the bottle. That is a very different dash than what you saw me doing, which was dash, dash, dash. Right? That's what I meant by a light dash. It's not, doesn't have anything to do with the dash dart. But different bottles, different size stoppers, different size holes will produce different dashes. So yeah, a dash is meant to be sort of that cooking equivalent of some of that to taste. Lots of dashes are like put a bunch of that in to taste. Yeah, that's the best I can tell you there. We are going to do one last drink for you this evening, and then get off the stage and do other things this evening before the night is ended. And that last drink is an homage to the fact that, well, it is Easter, and my upbringing is Catholic, and so I should do something in recognition of that day, of this day. And last year, I'm pretty sure it was last year, we were a bit on the sacrilegious side. I think we did multiple versions of the zombie. So we're not going to do that this year. Sort of. So there is a drink out there called the Oaxacan Dead. And it was really, you see it served a lot at home parties and that sort of thing on the Day of the Dead. But in this case, we're going to make some changes to this particular cocktail, and I'm going to give it an entirely different name and an entirely different connotation. And this came up earlier this week when we were talking about drinks and what we should do for this week, for this week's broadcast. And I said, we should do something like "For He Is Risen" or something along those lines. Hallelujah, for He is risen as a cocktail, right? And said, it just doesn't feel right. Just doesn't. For He is shaken. Now I can do that. So we're going to do a cocktail called "For He is Shaken." And that's what we're going to do. And it is based on the cocktail, the Oaxacan Dead. All right. So we're going to start with our sweet ingredients. Our sweet ingredients are a half ounce of falernum. So we're going to use the Bitter Truth Golden Falernum. Thank you, Matt and Gabby, for bringing this down for us. That's right, I finished off the last bottle. We'll have this one now. Open that. Thank goodness I don't have to rely upon my usual adage of open the bottles ahead of time, because, yeah, didn't. So we're going to go half ounce falernum. The Bitter Truth Falernum, I used John D. Taylor's Velvet Falernum for many, many years, and it has served me well. Nobody's really complained about my cocktails while I was using that, although the corn and oil just doesn't seem to work with the Velvet Falernum for some reason. And I've never gotten around to making my own Falernum. We tried Bitter Truth's Golden Falernum, and yes, it's more expensive than the Velvet Falernum. And no, its profits don't go back to Foursquare Distillery, which I always like to give Foursquare money. But the profits do go back to Bitter Truth, and Bitter Truth puts out some really good products. This is one of them. So we are going to go with Golden Falernum. And right here, you can see on the label, there's limes, there's ginger, there's almonds, and there's some allspice in here. And that's what makes this into a heavily, heavily used tiki cocktail syrup. Much lighter, but still spicier, much lighter than an allspice dram, which the allspice or pimento is the primary driving ingredient on that. Here, the ginger, the lime, the almond all kind of work in synergy. It's kind of like orgeat, but not really. It doesn't have that milkiness. It doesn't have that textural component to it. Yeah. All right. Next up is a half ounce of, oh, I know what that is. I was like, a half ounce of a word I can't read. But that's not true. So in this case, we are going, and this is my change up to this cocktail, one of the changes to this cocktail. We had some leftover strawberries the other day, and I needed to do something with them because I knew that if I just let them sit, they would just go moldy and gross, and we weren't going to just sit down and eat a pile of mushrooms, strawberries. And so what I did is I weighed out the strawberries, chopped them up, put them in a bag, and then added an equal amount of sugar by weight to that, and then let those sit for 2 days. Kind of massaged them around, got all the sugar to dissolve, poured all of those contents into a saucepan today, added a few bits of black peppercorn to this, and a little bit of salt. And so now we have sort of a black pepper strawberry, which if you've not tried black pepper and strawberries together, it's actually, if you like black pepper at all, it's a really nice combination. So this is a strawberry with black pepper solution here, syrup. And so we're going to use that. We're going to go with a half ounce of that strawberry syrup. So this is the great thing when you just start making your own syrups, is because the world is your oyster at that point. You can do anything you want, any flavor combinations you want. You got fruit that's getting ready to go bad and you just don't know what to do with it. Make a syrup out of it, by gum. You got leftover peels, throw them in with some sugar and make yourself an oleo of that and see how that works. And just go to town, have a good time. All right, we need a half ounce of lime juice. Fresh lime juice. That was part of the reason we had to go to 8 o'clock, was we had no juices. So we're going to go half ounce lime juice. And then we need a half ounce of grapefruit juice. This is white grapefruit juice. Now this may be a little on the insipid side because this is the last of my white grapefruit. And let's just say it was not the juiciest in the world. I was having to coax some sweetness or some liquid out of that. So I'm not sure how pungent the grapefruit is. We'll see. Next up, we're going to go with the spirits for this. And the spirits base for this is a little unusual, as might be fitting of the origin, which is the Oaxacan Dead, in that we are going to start using both rum, and mezcal and tequila. So the first thing is we're going to go with the Charanda, the Uruapan Charanda, with a half ounce of that. So we're not getting, oh, I love the smell of this. It's like, it just waves past my nose. I'm like, oh, I'm going to follow that. There's something about this that is reminiscent of like banana bread, but not in a warm sense. I don't know how to describe it. Whereas banana bread is sort of warming and homey. It's raw banana bread. I don't know how else to describe it. We're going to go half ounce of the Charanda. There you go. And then we're going a half ounce of mezcal. And for the mezcal, in this case, I'm not reaching for high-end stuff here on the mezcal and the tequila. The mezcal, we're going to go Game of Death. That's the Paleton de la Muerte, because that seems like it's just fitting with the origins of this particular cocktail. So half ounce. Half ounce. You might also note here that haven't made this cocktail before. Got no idea whether or not this is going to be tasty or completely and utterly disgusting. I'm really hoping we get tasty. And then a full ounce of young tequila. We're going with a Blanco Terramana. This is the Rocks tequila. We kind of like Dwayne the Rock Johnson around here, so we tend to buy his tequila. Not that we don't buy other tequilas. I mean, we buy Fortaleza and several others that we stock around here. I'm trying to think of what else we stock. Oh, Los Tesoros. Obviously, we have some Patron, just because. We have many more others. Casamigos. Right. So we have a bunch of tequilas around, like 8 or 10 probably. But we really do like the Rocks tequila. It's a solid tequila at price point that isn't going to break the bank, and is better than most of the, Cuervo-esque kind of things that you can get out there. That's not it for this cocktail. It requires some Angostura and some absinthe. And unfortunately, the recipe that I was working with did not tell me how much of either. That could be a little problematic. So I'm going to reach over here. This is my absinthe. So I have absinthe in a spritz bottle. So we're just going to 3 spritzes of absinthe in there. Not entirely sure how the absinthe is going to play with this, but we will find out. It could very well be that they wanted drops of absinthe. Okay, we're in trouble then. But I'm going to go with sort of an equal amount of the Yango. So we're going to go 1 and I think 2 long dashes of the Yango should be about right for that. Okay, there we go. Whew. Smells like absinthe to me. Man, I hope that tastes better than it smells. Woohoo! All right, I'm going to put some ice in here. There's a great big clump of ice. The actual recipe calls for pebble ice, so we're going to add some of our pebble ice. Once again, thank you, Miss Holly Whooper, for making sure that we have an opal ice machine and can, in fact, do cocktails like this. So, there we go. Pour that in there. Shaky, shaky. 4. Hey, it's Easter. He is shaking. There you go. That's nice and cold. Watch that drip, 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 drip. Drip and drizzle. How y'all doing? Enjoying this? Doing okay? Let's see what this tastes like. Yeah, new straw. Why not? Mmm. That's quite yummy. Oh, 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 yeah, this is really good. Let's see if we can find something that isn't quite. Hmm. Let's see. Nope. No, no, no. No H.P. Lovecraft references for the shaken cocktail. I think that would be bad. Here, we'll just do that one. Now I have to figure out what glass that actually is. It's really cool looking. I don't remember who it's from, though. I'm sure it says on it. I just don't remember. What is this one? This one is, oh, lava and tonic.
Oh, yeah.
Lava and tonic. And we're just going to dump for this. Like that. There we go. Mint. Mint me up, baby. pinch off the bottoms, smack the mint around a little bit. Sneak that in there. I need a cutting board real quick. So, you may have noticed that in the past, I have said things like, turns out that I really like my cocktails better after they've sat for a few moments and let the ingredients sort of meld and combine together. Well, it occurred to me that one of the ways of doing that would be to make the drink, set it down, and then work on your garnishes. Because if you do that, well, you're going to have a situation where you've got a chance for it to do its thing. It's got a chance to just sit there and do goodness. So that's what we're doing. We're playing with a garnish. What I'm going to do here is take some lemon extract, and I'm going to add some lemon extract to the end of a cinnamon stick. I'll roll that around a little bit. Why lemon extract? Well, because lemon extract, I'm going to set this thing on fire. Why only one end? Why don't I just soak the entirety of this in there? Well, because I really don't want the drink to taste like lemon extract. So, what we're going to do, very careful about this whole thing, we're going to take our little flaming torch. We're going to reach over and we are going to grab our cinnamon stick, like such. And this way I can put it in the glass once it started burning, because then it'll start to burn off the, this is going to be a little difficult. Try this again. The easy way to do this is to just lock the flame in place. There we go. Right. And we can toast that, right? So look at that. Let that burn a little bit. There's fire. Stick that in there. Yep. Turn this off. And there you go. You get a nice little burny sensation off of the stick. Yeah, that's nice. Smells like really, really warm cinnamon. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could get a little more of that by just reigniting the cinnamon itself. Want to be a little careful. There you go. Now you've got some cinnamon smoke coming off of that. Reach in, because this is grapefruit. Why don't we go ahead and add a dehydrated grapefruit peel to this? I'll just take these guys, set them in there. Oh, no, you come back. There we go. There we go. And then we'll stick a straw in that. And voila. The He is Shaken cocktail. I realize not everyone's going to have strawberry syrup lying around. Could you use some other berry red syrup? Yeah, but I think this really wants a sweet berry-ish syrup. You could maybe use fashionola if you happen to have a fashion or passionola around. I really like that. Really do. Mm. Oh, and the warmth of the cinnamon stick. Yep. I think Star's gonna like it. But she can't have this one because she's had pretty much everything else. Oh. 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 Yeah. So there you go. He is shaken. Hallelujah. There you go. I hope you guys have all had a really, really happy Easter, and I hope the rest of the year goes well for you. I'm not sure what else to say. Have a great time.
Stick a straw in it and call it a cocktail.
Stick a straw in it, call it a cocktail. Yep. It seems really strange for me to go to our usual sign-off for our cocktail hour, but we're probably going to do it anyway because, Easter's supposed to be the beginning, right? Salvation and all that sort of thing by God's power, whatever. And yet our call sign for signing off is the end is nigh. So take that for a grain of salt or whatever else, but not blue salt, not blue saline like this. I mean, did you see how blue this stuff was? Oh my gosh. It's blue. Look at this. Look how blue. This is not a trick of the light. This is blue. Yeah, that's all I had, folks. And bam, thank you very much because this is one of the cocktail salts that you sent me. And if you hadn't sent this to me, blue and all, I would have had to go back upstairs and get some salt, and then I would have been tempted to measure it all out, and it would have been a thing, and it wasn't. It's just blue, so that's okay. All right, we'll talk to you later. By the way, we'll talk later about adding saline and adding salt to cocktails because it's kind of a thing. You see it a little bit here, a little bit there, but you don't see it in all cocktails. So I thought we would talk about that at some point. Whether it's next weekend, I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea what we're doing next weekend. Maybe we'll do more things from the International Bartenders Association because I will be tired and not knowing what to do next weekend. Who knows? What I do know is that the end is nigh because I need to clean up around here so that housekeeping can come in tomorrow. I know, cleaning up for housekeeping. Trust me, it's a thing. So we'll talk to you all next week at we do another episode of Lovecraft Cocktails Quarantiki. This one's been 155, and next week would be 156. Talk to you then. Remember, the end is nigh. Wait, I'm supposed to be drinking. Oh my gosh.